Hey there, House here. I know by the time anyone sees this video, the first few games of the Major League Baseball playoffs will be over, but I assure you that I made these predictions last night and I wasn't able to get the video out. So even with the first couple games going final, I'm sticking with these predictions. So with that, the wild card round starts off with the Rays versus the Blue Jays. I'm taking the Rays. They just have better pitching and their hitting isn't too far behind where their pitching is. They're a talented team, and the Blue Jays they're good in their own right. They made some moves in the trade deadline to kind of help out some of the issues that they had, especially with their starting rotation. And they have some strong young bats, but it's just that inexperience that I think is going to hurt them in this round. So on to the next one. We have the Indians versus the Yankees. I'm going to take the Yankees. Both both teams have really stout pitching, so it's really tough to give one an edge over the other. I think the pitching matchup for tonight's game is Bieber against Garrett Cole, which neither one's weak in that one. But I believe the Yankees have a bit of an edge. They've been swinging a better bat, especially with getting healthy with Aaron Judge, DJ LeMahieu hitting up what he's been hitting all year, Luke Voigt having a power resurgence, and the Indians just not swinging really a good bat. Outside of Jose Ramirez, they haven't been swinging a good bat all year. So I give the Yankees the edge in this series. Next is the Twins versus the Astros. I'm taking the Twins in this one. Their bats have been hot all year, and their pitching, in my opinion, is better than Houston's. I believe that they'll be able to hit for power and be pretty much shut down on the defensive side as well. Last AL series is going to be the A's versus the White Sox. I'm going to take the A's in this series. I believe it's going to be a very well-pitched series with solid hitting from both squads, but I give the A's the advantage mainly because of their experience. There's only maybe 3 or 4 guys on the White Sox right now that have playoff experience, and that's been when they've been on different teams and made the playoffs. Nobody on the Chicago White Sox currently have made the playoffs. So just with experience, I'm taking the A's. Onto the National League, we have the Dodgers versus the Brewers. They're just an all-around better team. They're ranked first in hitting, and they're ranked second in pitching. They've been pretty phenomenal all year long, and I don't think they're going to have any issue with the Brewers. Next, we have the Padres versus the Cardinals. Now, this one could be an interesting matchup. Nobody really knew what the Cardinals were going to be like, having missed all the games that they missed and playing all those doubleheaders, just trying to get as close to 60 as possible. But they're still a talented team. They're a team before they got destroyed by all these positive COVID cases. They were a team pegged to win their own division just based on the guys they had on the roster, guys they were bringing in, and just overall talent. But again, I'm going to pick the Padres. They're just an exciting young team, and they made a lot of moves at that deadline for a reason. They're primed to do something special in this postseason, I think. Next series is Cubs versus the Marlins. I'm going to take the Cubs, partially because they have a lot more experience than the Marlins, partially because Yu Darvish has been one of the most untouchable pitchers in the National League this year. He has had a huge resurgence after signing that big contract and flopping a bit in his first year and a half. But since then, he's kind of turned it around, and he's been a great pitcher. I can't say anything else, but he's been great. And with that, the Marlins, they surprised a lot of teams by just making the playoffs and playing as well as they did. But they're another one. They're very, very young. They weren't pegged to make the playoffs right now. They're a little ahead of where a lot of people thought that they would be. And I don't know, I just think that the Cubs are going to have a pretty easy matchup against them. But I've been wrong before. Next, we have rounding out the National League in the Wild Card Series is the Braves versus the Reds. I'm taking the Braves. They're hitting near the top of the league. They have a bunch of young all-stars, and the inexperience of the Reds, I think, is really gonna cause them some grief here. Votto has a good amount of playoff experience, but Votto 7 years ago, when he was the stud for this team and taking this team to the postseason, to Votto now are two different people. I don't think they have enough. Especially not enough pitching, but not even enough offense to really get past the Braves here. Here we go to the divisional round. It's going to be the Rays versus the Yankees. I'm going to take the Rays in this one. They had a fun battle throughout the division this year. The Rays took the division. They're just a superior team in my opinion. Again, it's going to be another well-pitched series, but I'm still giving the edge to the Rays. The other matchup in the American League Division round is the Twins versus the A's. I'm picking the Twins again. They just have better bats than the A's right now. They're hitting the long ball, and their pitching is sneaky good, honestly. With Kenta Maeda and Jose Barrios, all you really need in the postseason is two starters, and then you can have a guy go 3 or 4 innings and turn that into a bullpen day if you have a competent enough bullpen, and their bullpen is very good as well. So I give the Twins the advantage in this one. On to the National League. It's the Dodgers against the Padres. I'm going to pick the Padres in this one. I just have a feeling that they're primed to do something special in this postseason. They have a lot of bigger, under-the-radar, bigger-name players is the best way to describe it, honestly, with the guys on that roster. And just they're young with a healthy mix of veterans. They have stout pitching, and their superstars are pretty super. So I just believe that they're going to come out hard, play the Dodgers well. I believe in this round it's going to go 5 games. I think it can go to 5 games, and I believe the Padres will have the edge. And next it'll be Cubs versus the Braves. I'm picking the Braves. I picked the Cubs in the first round because they had the draw against the Marlins. But even though their pitching has been good, their hitting has been tremendously subpar. They have, I think, their highest batting average on the team is in the 250s, and that's just nowhere near enough to take on this Atlanta Braves team right now. So we're going to roll right into the championship round. In the American League, it's going to be the Rays against the Twins. I'm picking the Rays. I like their pitching, man. I really like their pitching. I just think that they're going to overmatch the Twins, and they have the bats to really go toe-to-toe with them if need be, if it comes down to that. And in the National League, it's Padres against the Braves. I'm picking the team I'm going to ride through. I'm picking the Padres. They're going to beat the Braves again. Solid pitching. They can hit. They're talented. Not to say the Braves aren't, but I've said it before. I have a feeling about the Padres right here, which kicks us right into the World Series, which is, in my opinion, going to be the Rays against the Padres. And I'm picking the Padres to win the World Series. They're going to be your 2020 abbreviated season World Series champs. You can put an asterisk next to it. You can say it doesn't count. You can count in the record books. So anyway, picking the Padres here. Those are my predictions for this MLB postseason. Again, if you missed in the beginning of this video, I know by the time anybody sees this, the first couple of games of today will be played already, but I assure you that I made all these picks based on my thoughts yesterday before any games were played, and we'll see how they work out. So that'll about cover it. I'm looking forward to not only watching my team make their first postseason appearance in 12 years, but also just to see what this year's playoffs have to offer for us. So until next time, remember, you win some and you lose some, but the house always wins.